Yeah.
My student teacher experience was I was being observed as well. So I would teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then all day Friday for 10 hours I would go, and this was for a year, and I would just sit in a classroom
10
with
hours?
other teachers. The part of it was your student teaching was in your classroom as a teacher, and then you'd have to do the observations with your colleagues.
Oh.
Yes. And so everyone else came to the mutual understanding that when you're being observed, you're just going to do whatever it takes for that person to have an easy lesson plan,
Then there's that
Exactly.
one person.
Then there's the one woman. So my small group activity was super like boring and lazy, but I knew that it was like a solid. It like checked all the
do what
concepts.
you gotta do.
And it was
Check
called
those
Bears on a
boxes.
Boat. They have the wood blocks, which is the boat, and then they have counting bears. And all you do is you give them the counting bears and you give them the block, and then you see what the kids do with it. Do they put the bears on there? Do they do it by color? That was it. This woman decides that she's going to be asking 20 questions during this, and then she was going to be like joking around. So she starts. So I'm sitting there, and she wants to add me challenges. So she's like,
Girl, if you
Mr.
don't
Williams,
shut
what do I
up.
do with this? And then she puts the bear in her mouth. I'm like, you don't. Oh my God, you're a 45-year-old woman. What are you doing? And then
Wait, she
starts,
legit 45 years old
45
put a bear in her mouth.
Yes, and our instructor's looking at like, what is she doing? Because she wanted to like, cause she's like, not all. And as she's like,
I hate when they do that.
she'd
We
break
know
character.
that not all the kids are going to act.
And she'd break character do it. She'd be like, now, because I'm doing this because like not all your students are going to listen all the time. Well, then why don't you do it for the other teachers in class? Plus they were back in her mouth. Then she
Shut
starts
up,
crawling
lady.
You're an adult woman.
in a
She started
college classroom.
doing what?
She's crawling then in a college
Ew.
classroom on the ground. And I was like, I'm looking over at my professor. I'm like, she's got to be shitting me. So I'm like, okay. So we get done with it. I'm like, okay, maybe she settled down.
That
And
lady like has some childhood trauma she never got
Oh,
over.
Did you want to be an actress and you didn't
And
make
she
it,
only
babes?
did this for you?
Only did it for me, which was so weird. Because she said, it's not always going to go smoothly. And I'm like, I didn't think it was going to. And then I go to the second part. My large group activity was shaving cream. So what you do is you put shaving cream on a table, and then the kids can smear it around, and then they can use their fingers to like write letters or stuff. And it's just how to introduce the starting of writing. And this woman looks at me dead in the eye, and I was like, please, babe, don't do it. Don't do it." And she
Please.
went and put her mouth, and then she immediately regrets it because it is soap. And she sits there and looks at me. She's like, oh. It's like, why would you do that?
I hope your supervisor was
Why
like,
would you
oh
do
my
that?
God.
And you're supposed to make it. They're your colleague. You
Surrender.
know
Make
that.
it easy
You
on
know
them.
that it's
You're supposed to be
nerve-wracking
helpful.
And the
anyway.
thing was, she went before me. If I knew she was going to act like this,
I would have acted
you
a
know,
fool
I
during
would
her.
have been flipping tables.
I was gonna say,
I would have
flip
been
that
throwing
table.
chairs. No,